Is blindness a barrier? No.
Is deafness a barrier? No.
Are mobility, learning, cognitive disabilities, speech impairments and others, or even a combination of them, barriers? No way. Lack of accessibility is.
Welcome to Web Accessibility for All.
Follow the blind. This journey starts now.
Look, I still think accessibility is just expensive by nature, okay? I mean, every release we fix things, and somehow there is always more.
But are we fixing new problems or repeating old ones?
What do you mean, Bob?
Well, take the cookie banner issue from last quarter, Susan. Same keyboard problem came back, right?
Yeah, but different team.
Wait, doesn't that actually matter? If different teams keep rebuilding the same bug, maybe this is less about effort and more about how we build things.
So, Jessica, you're saying accessibility is expensive because we keep recreating work?
You fix issues, you run audits, you write tickets, you train developers, and somehow, 6 months later, the exact same accessibility problems show up again. Why does accessibility feel so exhausting in so many product teams? Well, most teams think that accessibility problems are mostly technical problems. Sometimes they are, but they are much more than that. Hey my friend, Ariel here, and welcome back to Web Accessibility for All.
How easy bad accessibility scales.
Imagine your company creates a reusable cookie consent banner. One implementation shared across multiple products. Sounds efficient, right? Except there is a problem. Nobody really tested accessibility properly. Keyboard users cannot easily move through the controls. Focus lands in strange places. The buttons are visually clear, but their accessible names are confusing. Maybe the banner appears without being announced clearly to screen readers. You no longer have one accessibility problem. You have many, because that banner is spread across the whole company.
What is DAMM, and why does it matter for product teams?
DAMM, Digital Accessibility Maturity Model, is a structured way to understand how well an organization is actually able to produce accessible digital products consistently. It looks beyond individual bugs or audits and helps organizations identify where accessibility is strong, where it breaks down, and what needs to improve across areas.
What accessibility maturity models actually means in everyday product work.
An accessibility maturity model is basically a way to understand the following questions.
Do designers think about accessibility during design? Do developers know accessible patterns? Does QA test keyboard behavior and screen readers? Do product managers include accessibility in planning? Does the design system help accessibility or quietly spread bad patterns everywhere?
All the answers you gather allow you to answer the most important question of all.
Where are accessibility problems being introduced, and how do we stop repeating them?
Now, when we look at the DAMM, we talk about maturity levels. Let's see.
Level 1, the reactive stage.
This is classic firefighting. Something chips. A user with a screen reader hits a major blocker and complains, and suddenly everything is an emergency. The team scrambles. tickets get thrown into the sprint, and everyone patches the code as fast as they can, just to stop the bleeding.
Level 2, some good accessibility habits, but inconsistent delivery.
As you climb to level 2, you start seeing good habits. Maybe a couple of developers took a course, or QA occasionally checks keyboard navigation, but is inconsistent. Success here depends entirely on people.
Level 3, integrated accessibility, becoming part of normal product delivery.
This is where accessibility becomes part of the daily routine. Design reviews consider accessibility. Design systems provide accessible starting points. Developers understand common interaction patterns. QA checks keyboard and screen reader behavior naturally. Acceptance criteria include accessibility expectations. Product managers think about accessibility earlier. You stop fixing the exact same bugs because your process naturally filters them out.
How accessibility maturity models solve different problems.
Accessibility audits.
Audits matter. They reveal blockers. They expose risk. They surface accessibility problems. But an audit only tells you what broke. It doesn't tell you why your team keeps breaking it.
Accessibility champions.
One front-end developer cares deeply. One designer becomes the accessibility advocate. One QA person learns screen readers. That sounds good, really good. But there's a hidden risk. Dependency. Because suddenly accessibility lives inside people, and people could leave.
WCAG compliance.
WCAG also matters. It's the difference between checking the product and checking the system. Your team spends months on a massive remediation project, passes the audit, and everyone celebrates. But months later, a redesign happens. Components change, and regression returns.
Shift left accessibility.
Shift left basically means do accessibility earlier. But doing accessibility earlier only works when teams have the knowledge, processes, reusable patterns exist, and training is provided. Maybe your team runs audits. Maybe you have accessibility champions. Maybe people talk about WCAG compliance. Maybe your organization is trying to ship accessibility left. But here is a perspective a lot of product teams miss. True maturity isn't just about developers fixing bugs or designers checking color contrast. It requires two things that happen completely outside of your code editor.
Procurement.
You can have the most accessibility-focused engineering team on the planet, but dropping an unchecked third-party widget into your app can instantly import massive barriers for your users.
Governance.
This is about accountability. Who owns the legal risk if you are sued? Who protects the accessibility budget when deadlines get tight? Accessibility needs a seat in the leadership table.
I'm still stuck on this shift left thing. We are talking about accessibility earlier during our planning sessions.
Yeah, we mention it, Jessica. We say, hey, make sure this is accessible. But guess what? The same old bugs still show up in QA weeks later.
All right, so honest question for you, okay? When we bring it up earlier, do the teams actually know what to do with it?
Sometimes.
Honestly, no, we say it matters, but the engineers are still guessing how to write the ARIA attributes, and QA is still trying to figure out how to use a screen reader late in the cycle.
Exactly. And that's the difference between a timeline change and a maturity change. Look, shifting left just changes when you talk about it. Maturity changes how well you can actually build it. If you don't have the training or the tools, well, moving confusion earlier in the timeline just means you're confused sooner.
Common questions teams ask about accessibility maturity.
Let's go through a few common questions teams ask.
Is an accessibility maturity model only for big companies?
Short answer, no. Maturity is not about company size. It is about habits, processes, and ownership.
Do we need a dedicated accessibility team?
Not necessarily. A specialist could absolutely help, especially early on. But mature accessibility usually looks like shared ownership across the board by the whole team.
Will this slow product development?
Learning always has a cost, but maturity reduces friction over time. Teams stop repeating avoidable mistakes.
Do teams need perfect accessibility maturity?
Definitely not. The real goal is simple. Stop repeating preventable accessibility mistakes and build healthier workflows.
Practical ways to make accessibility less reactive.
Alright, after hearing all of this, you may be thinking,
Gotcha, this sounds great, but where do we even start? We can't transform our entire company culture overnight.
you're completely right. You don't need to become an accessibility wizard tomorrow. The secret to moving up the maturity ladder is to start much smaller than you think. Here is your 4 steps game plan to make accessibility less chaotic.
Step 1. Stop chasing bugs and start looking for patterns.
Next time an audit lands on your desk or a user reports an issue, don't just write a ticket and move on. Look at the bigger picture. If you see 5 keyboard navigation bugs across 3 pages, you don't have 5 separated problems. You have one workflow problem.
Step 2. Find where the smoke is coming from.
Ask your team, where did these issues slip in? Did design miss it while wireframing? Did engineering improvise without guidelines? Was QA brought in too late? Pinpointing where things break tells exactly where the process needs extra love.
Step 3. Fix your reusable layer.
Look at your design system and shared component libraries. If core building blocks like forms, buttons, dialogues are accessible by default, every project inherits that automatically.
Step 4. Change what you measure.
Most teams only look at one metric.
How many accessibility bugs are in the backlog?
While useful is incomplete. Start asking better questions.
Are we catching bugs earlier than last quarter? Are reusable components getting cleaner? Are teams learning from past mistakes or just repeating them?
Maturity isn't about a pristine backlog. It's about building a healthier workflow so those bugs stop showing up in the first place.
Wrapping up.
Now, think about that one accessibility bug that just won't die. It survives every redesign, pops up in different sprints, and frustrates a different developer every single time. Ask yourself, are we fixing the problem? Or are we finally ready to fix the system that keeps recreating it? Thanks for tuning in to Web Accessibility for All. Go and build something that everyone can use. And I'll catch you in the next episode. Goodbye.
Thanks for joining us today. Subscribe for a new challenge next week. And don't be shy. Leave us a review or ask your accessibility questions online. See you next week for another episode of Web Accessibility for All.